Good evening and welcome to Stupid O'Clock News. I'm Lewis Lee. Dateline, Oklahoma City. A bill to establish a Bigfoot hunting season was introduced in Oklahoma on Wednesday. Representative Justin Humphrey wants the Oklahoma Wildlife Commission to establish a Bigfoot hunting season. Humphrey represents a large portion of southeastern and south central Oklahoma that's famous for Bigfoot sightings. They even host a Bigfoot festival every year. This year's activities, of course, were canceled due to COVID-19. Quote, the Oklahoma Wildlife Conservation Commission shall promulgate rules establishing a Bigfoot hunting season. The commission shall set annual season dates and create any necessary specific hunting licenses and fees, end quote. If passed, the bill would become effective November 1st of this year. And that is serious news. On with the show.
Okay, yeah. Hopefully it's with cameras and cage traps and not.
It's just publicity.
Yeah.
But
let's
with all the really crappy stuff going on in politics right now.
Yeah,
I guess this is about as benign as it gets.
No, it isn't, because
Okay, John, if you spot a Bigfoot, feel free to shoot him.
No. Well,
I said if. That's a big word for two letters.
hey,
yeah.
And if a frog had wings, you wouldn't bump his ass every time he jumped.
hey, if Bigfoot was selling Girl Scout cookies, he'd be a lot more popular. Okay.
Point of order on this. Okay, when most people, quote unquote, sight a Bigfoot, but what they're actually seeing is like, somebody, usually somebody that's wearing like camouflage or just dark clothing.
It's probably a ghillie suit.
Like in the background, and like these, you see them only for a second or whatever, blurry photos, they can never get a hold of that. So if we start a Bigfoot hunting season, that just means that a bunch of people are going to get shot.
Yeah.
And this coming from a furry really means something. Okay.
there was a CSI episode about
there
this.
was self-preservation in that announcement. I see.
And the comments have already started.
Not about me being a furry. It's just all these people being all like, who's going to dress up like Bigfoot and get shot? See, that's what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about.
The Bigfoot
You didn't fix this
down the
earlier.
lane.
I have to fix it for you. No, it's not. That's not it. Which one is it?
That was it.
No.
Oh, it's at the bottom.
It's the overlay. I needed the background.
Yeah, the background. There you go. Yeah, I was having some issues here that I had to take care of. Let's go ahead and just knock out at the comments, because everybody's saying, Carlene saying hello, and Thessaly's going, hey, I'm actually here on time. Holy cow. Carl Whitzman, hey. Carl Whitzman, as Lewis starts talking about the Bigfoot, eyes the whiskey, drinks the whiskey. Of course, John's saying hi. And then Carl Whitzman says it's Oklahoma, who knows? Thessaly saying hi again. And Nick Tockert's going, no Bigfoot jerky, boys. Yeah, we don't want Bigfoot jerky.
Yeah, that'd be kind of tough.
Thessaly says she misses us. Carly says, way to get the money without raising taxes. Holy bearded skunk. Talking.
For those of you who don't know, that is a reference to certain Bigfoots.
Yeah. And
I was talking about my beard.
Yeah. And then that's what Carl said earlier. And it's called Calling the Herd and talking about a Bigfoot herd, okay? And wedding dinner, don't want to die, okay? I have a streak. You ain't kidding.
Well, we were making jokes about that, by the way, when you were gone. You don't have issues. You have a whole library. You don't have issues. You own the printing press. You don't have issues. You have a whole back catalog.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of them we did. Yeah. I by the way, the skunk ape thing is so stupid. That's such a stupid name.
The what?
The skunk ape. The skunk ape is another name for Bigfoot. Or Sasquatch or whatever you want to call it. They have the skunk ape. Florida.
North and South
Florida
Carolina.
calls it a skunk ape. Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
North and South Carolina do too.
Yeah, because the stupidest thing, it started in Florida. The stupidest things come out of Florida. No offense, if any of you are in Florida.
No, trust me.
Remember,
Trust
Florida
me, I
also
would-
had the giant penguin walking along the beaches.
I want you all to realize that they used to have a game they used to play on the Opie and Anthony show back when they were on terrestrial radio before they went to like Sirius XM called Germany or Florida, where they would tell you an incredulous news story, something absolutely ridiculous, right? And to be like, did this take place in Germany or Florida? Of course, nowadays, anytime any crazy thing happens in Florida, the headline is Florida Man.
Florida man. Yes, but now Trump is the Florida man.
You just stole my best line. You just.
Sorry.
I was trying to get it in. I'm going to say I can't wait for some of the new Florida man stories, and then you pulled my punchline before I told the joke.
I'm bad.
I think we're all pretty much on point tonight. Then
You got to, hey, great minds think alike. Greater minds steal ideas.
Okay. Update on everything.
Yeah.
Yes, we're.
You guys know I felt like shit Saturday.
Yes.
Feeling was kind of weird all week. Had a little brain fog for a couple of days. Physical symptoms are gone. I've still got that sore throat, but that was from simultaneous sinus infection. But the corticosteroid that was prescribed for me has me breathing like I haven't breathed in years. And I've never smoked a day in my life, but for the last few years, had a rattle in my chest. Gone. I mean, every time I would lay down to sleep, I'd get that little rattle, and it was like clockwork. I'd cough like 5 or 8
Are you
times.
on ACE inhibitors?
What?
Are you on ACE inhibitors?
No.
Okay. That's a
on
common thing that ACE inhibitors do.
Yeah. No. But anyway, so yesterday I was almost out of it. Just had a little bearing issue, I just felt thin and kind of wired. Today everything's fine. Today went and got retested. Don't have my results back yet. Should be first thing in the morning. So I will know if I'm still positive. But this afternoon, I went and got my second shot. So hopefully everything is uphill from here.
My mom's husband works in a hospital.
Thank you, Carly.
In hematology, and he just got his second shot. And you know how after you get shot, you kind of like, but I noticed his face was kind of a little puffy, like, how people kind of get.
Weird. In the last 10 days, I've lost over 10 pounds. And it's just from not eating fast food. I've just had to cook here. I get groceries delivered and I just cook here. But I've lost over 10 pounds.
And
Fast
you're
food
probably
is so
healthy
not
better.
good for you.
But I'll take it.
Fast
Right.
food is so bad for you.
What, Heather?
Fast food is so bad for you.
Oh, I know.
It tastes so good.
It really does, and I miss fast food so much.
Change record. All right, I'm back in hearing again. Skunk, I can read lips.
I literally didn't say anything that whole entire time, so
That's why
Okay,
he's
I'm
watching you
you're not
the
trying to
rest
throw
of
me
us
under
people
the
are all
bus.
talking.
Don't mess with me.
Okay, I just read your mind.
What?
I'm reading his computer screen in his glasses.
Skunk, I'm picking on.
Hold on.
Skunk,
Oh, yeah.
I don't pick on
You
people
gotta
I
have
don't
a
like.
really good Zoom to do that.
Look at this right here. This right here is what I'm looking at. I'm just looking at the fact that the Devo shirt sold out in 30 minutes.
Oh my god,
No.
It's not a big deal. Come on.
that is a big deal. Of course, Devo's always done that little artsy stuff that sells out fast.
Those are actually reproductions of shirts that they sold back in the 80s.
Yeah,
I almost bought one, but then they sold out in 30 minutes. Because I do kind of want to have a nice collared shirt that I can wear to.
Can you put them on back order?
They're on pre-order right now. They're going to do another printing. The first batch, the second batch is on pre-order, so I might get one. Just because I want to have a nice button-down shirt that I can wear places that I have to wear a button-down shirt at and weird everybody the hell out because they're going to be like, "Why are you wearing a Devo shirt?"
That's what Hawaiian shirts are for.
Yeah. You want me to loan you my Thor
usually,
tie?
That's usually what I save my Hawaiian shirts for. But I'd rather have a Devo shirt. I'd rather have a Devo shirt and a keyboard tie. And you get a
I've
keyboard.
got one of those too.
And a
The
flower
keyboard
pot
tie.
hat.
Well, it's an energy dome. I'm a fan of the band. I have to be pedantic about it. But no, I almost got one. I almost said it's a true story. When I went to go see Devo live, they had these blue ones that they were passing out. And the reason why they were blue was it was this whole entire thing that they had done a deal with Nike or somebody at the time. And so they had some blue ones that they had made up for that. This is back in like 2005. So they throw one out to the crowd, and the fun thing about those is that they're kind of like when they fling them out to the audience, they're kind of like frisbees, right?
Yeah.
They can get a curve to them and everything. So this one comes flying over, and it's like, I think I would probably say about 7 feet away from me. And so me and, I'm thinking, I'm like, if I jump up, I might be able to grab that, right? I got a long reach. I can get pretty good distance off the ground. Let me go for it. So I jump up to try to get this one. Of course, I'm not the only person thinking that. Everybody else in this little group that I'm in, some of them are thinking that too. So when I jump up to grab for this thing, somebody else jumps into me, and we all just go falling over. As I'm getting up, right, because I'm a
Devo mosh pit.
I was thinking exactly that.
I'm up against the guardrail because I'm in the front row, right? There's this great picture of me in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution that I think my mom still has that newspaper of us in the front row, like me and my mom, and I'm like up in the air, like fist and everything. It was awesome. But no, we're down in right there in the front, so I couldn't go forward anymore when everybody jumped into me. I come back down, and I'm trying to get my footing again. My mom's like right behind me, and there's a guardrail in front of me. It's not like I can really go anywhere. All of a sudden, there is a scramble going on below me. I look down, and there's like 4 people fighting over a completely different energy dome that had went the other way and had landed underneath me. So if I hadn't have moved, if I hadn't have jumped, it would have come right to me. Instead, I'm like got 4 people fighting underneath me, and I fell back over one of them and knocked a beer out of a dude's hand. And
that's not good.
Oh, no,
Party foul.
He was laughing his ass off about the whole entire thing. I told him, I said, I'll buy you another one. He goes, God, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. It's like I'm just here to have a good time. But yeah, I felt really bad, and I also felt really bad for the girl that got her drink knocked out of her hand. That wasn't me, but she was less happy about it.
Oh yeah,
I think she needed her alcohol. She didn't seem to be having a good time. I think her boyfriend dragged her.
Yeah. Laura, we are getting hammered with comments tonight.
Hey, 2 Real Geeks, Michaela Jade. Let's see who else we got.
Willow has showed up.
Carl Witzman, I saw him in there. And little Jimmy and Tanya and
Deli. Yeah, 2 Real Geeks out of Atlanta. They've got a great page on Facebook. You need to check them out. Oh, wow.
Michaela Jade, Nick's with us. Willow Schuyler. Why do I sound like Miss Marsha from Romper Room?
I do not know. Did any of y'all catch mine and Heather's coverage of the static fire today?
I saw that it was happening, but it was like 2 hours after the fact before I saw it.
Did they finally get to fire it, or?
Yeah. It was a different camera. It was so foggy you couldn't see anything, but there was only one camera in the entire region that had a good view.
Outside of SpaceX's own cameras.
Yeah, outside of SpaceX's own cameras. But I was sitting there and I missed it because I had a crazy. My phone just kept ringing from the same number, so I figured it may be an emergency. So I answered it. I didn't need my car warranty renewed, so I missed it. So I went and replayed it, and I did not realize how loud that rocket engine was. Because Heather about fell out of the chair when I told her what happened. I jumped, and when I jumped, I also threw my phone.
It was really loud. But it wasn't. Okay, so some of the channels are calling it an aborted static fire. So they started the static fire, but they stopped mid-static fire. I still call that a static fire, but I call it an unsuccessful static fire. It wasn't really much to talk about. It was just
If they light it off,
out of the
it was
noise.
a fire.
It was a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was
That's
just
been happening a lot
If you want
lately.
to call it aborted, you gotta call it before you hit the switch.
Yeah.
And then another channel was
Switch,
calling
you're
it
committed.
Preburner.
Yeah. I've never seen Preburner that loud. No. Carl Witzman, who was watching with us, says it was loud and unexpected.
Yeah, I was saying hi to a guy that had commented in the chat while Joe was answering his phone call, and mid me saying hi to this guy. And I was just like, well, there it is. There it was. And then
There it went.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell
Wow.
you, if you've noticed, all the static fires have been very short.
Yeah.
Ever since they started blowing up the pad. They're probably doing the short fires just to keep from blowing up the pad.
Yeah, you keep a rocket engine in one place for one period of time. That's a lot of heat being generated. That's just.
Yes. Carlene says she was fortunately the volume was turned down. Yeah, it was holy crap loud. And Carl Witzman says, hey, Mike McGraw, some are on YouTube, and he's on both for some reason. You're on both to pump our numbers. Keep doing it. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
right.
you. Of course, I got to throw a shout out to Arthur Michaela Jade, and Carl Witzman and Donna Carlene for the big thumb up. And just checking the numbers where everybody is. All right, back to all the other conversations. Just try to keep housing, acknowledge our viewers for tuning in.
Okay. I've actually got a topic tonight. So, if we slow down, I can throw something up.
Okay.
Well, what is it?
Oh, well, the big news, besides Biden, the Mega Millions lottery.
Oh, see, I'm in quarantine. I can't even go out and get a damn ticket.
You gonna have somebody get you one?
Nobody. Oh.
Thought you could buy the darn things on the website.
Uh-uh.
Oh, okay.
You can check to see if it's a winner on a website, but you can't buy them.
Yeah. No, Dan, we're talking about the Tennessee lottery, which you can't do that. You're thinking of the Georgia lottery. The Georgia lottery, you can buy tickets online. You can't do that in Tennessee. At least I don't think.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Georgia.
No, it's against the law. You have to buy them in person. You can't buy them with a credit card.
You have to pay cash.
Yeah, have to pay cash.
You have to pay cash.
Have to pay cash in Georgia. Yeah.
I do want to point out that there is a commercial that points out that if you can go on, I think it's the Georgia Lottery. You go online to the Georgia Lottery website and play Fantasy 5, Powerball, and Mega Millions. I don't know which. I guess I'm pretty sure it's the Georgia Lottery that says they have a radio commercial that says you can do that. I've never looked at it myself because I don't play
now.
the
Mega Millions in Georgia. There are actually 1, 2, 3. There are 6 games that you can play online.
Yeah,
Cash
but not the
Pop.
big one. The
Cash
big
Pop,
one. The big one,
Digigame, Fantasy
multi-state.
5, Keno. Oh, Mega Millions. You can't, and Powerball.
But you
No.
have
Yeah.
to be. But
What
you have.
states can you buy lottery tickets online? Georgia, Kentucky, Illinois, Michigan, Minnesota, New Hampshire, and
Yes.
Pennsylvania.
She has done her research.
I just
I'm
Googled it.
looking at it right now. So, yeah.
I just Googled it.
Cool. How many plays
Hey,
would you
I
purchase?
didn't trust my ballot in the mail. You think I'm going to trust a $780 million lottery ticket in the mail?
Yeah.
Well, if anybody wants to stop off at a gas station
Sure.
and buy one in Tennessee, support my education.
Really? I'm proud to pay my voluntary education tax in Georgia.
Hey, I win that thing. I'm playing Oprah Winfrey. Okay.
No.
You get a
Tennessee.
car. You get a car. You get a car. You get a car.
My schooling is
Chat
paid
room gets
for
a car.
by
Everybody in the
Tennessee
comment
lottery
pays for a
money.
car. Thank you for
I like-
tuning in tonight.
Hey, John, I like my car. Can I get a boat? I'd love a boat.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do a boat.
You know what they call a boat, don't you? A hole in the water that you throw money into.
Yeah, I know. And the best 2 days of boat ownership are the day you buy it and the day you sell it. I know.
Hey, my dad.
Actually, you know what I would prefer over boat ownership is membership in a boat club. They got one of those in Chattanooga.
Yeah,
It's
there's
awesome.
several.
I mean, it's kind of expensive, but boat ownership is anyway. But you can rent anything from a speedboat to a party barge to whatever they got in stock. You know, that's kind of cool.
You can do that up here too.
Yeah, they
I
got
don't
them all.
know if Lake Ocoee does it or not, but they do rent boats.
Yeah.
Now, y'all got me wondering what happened to Dad's 16-foot fishing ski.
My dad had a bass boat for a long time. Really nice engine. Back then, it was a big engine for a bass boat. But he had that thing for like 16 years.
I can't stop thinking about this.
What?
When he was when Lewis was going on a minute ago, I so thought that for some reason I so thought he was going to say with the partial ownership of a deli.
Deli?
From the
Deli.
Turkey Boys.
A
With
deli,
the floor,
like-
I went and looked this up. Yeah, with the floral arrangement, partial ownership of a deli with your husband, and they're going to shove you into a volcano. That's all I know. Partial ownership of a deli.
Okay. Whatever you're drinking, hold it up. We need to see this. And
Natty.
Natty, really?
Yeah, but the partial ownership. The reason why I know partial ownership of a deli specifically is that there was a synth punk band that I was friends with from New Jersey. They called one of their albums "Partial Ownership of a Deli." That's how come I know about it. But it was just when you were going on, it so sounded like you were about to say "partial ownership of a deli," and it has cracked me up ever since.
Now, who's the country singer that goes, "It'll buy me a boat"? I keep hearing that over and over again.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. We got something going on here in the
Yeah,
chat.
there's definitely a side conversation going on here.
Yeah, Carl Witzman says he wants a party pontoon boat, and Carly Carleen, who just so happens to be his wife, says, "Yeah, Carl, you want to put me on a pontoon when I've been drinking? Suspicious." And then Carl goes, "I'll tie you down, Carly."
Why do you have to win a lottery for that?
Yeah.
Tie your Wookiee down.
And Mike McGowan says it's called bait, Carl. Okay.
Well,
TMI, but
sometimes, Joe.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think we ought to get all of our regular watchers to take
Yeah.
over for us and just do the show one day on their own.
Let
That's
JV
called
take
Off
over.
the rails in 3 seconds flat.
That's called
We
the
need
green room, and
It's
Uncle
called the
Carl
green
already
room,
knows.
and you can't broadcast that.
Okay.
Yeah,
We need a JV crew.
yeah. Lewis, you do need to come into the green room sometime.
Yeah, I keep meaning to, and I never. Well, I don't get the notifications until it's too late. But yeah, I need to check in one of these days.
Yeah.
It's not the, is the notifications come late. It's going, okay, how do I decipher this link?
Yeah.
I'm definitely getting a kick out of Uncle Carl's page.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Lewis. Look, if I win the lottery, I'm going to buy an old Russian submarine, diesel electric submarine, okay, like Foxtrot or Tango class, and build a big fiberglass iceberg cover to it. And when
Cruise
they-
it all
and when
down
they-
the coast.
And when they launch Titanic 2
Oh shit!
and the maiden voyage, when it gets to that same point where the Titanic hit the iceberg, come cruising up and just follow them all the way back to New York Harbor. Of course,
You're twisted, man.
Titanic would outrun a submarine. So
You're
I'm
twisted.
proud to know you, John. That's the kind of sick and twisted sense of humor that I just enjoy.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be a James Bond villain. You know, buy a little private army with hard hats and little, Smith and Wesson.
Your own
Yeah,
private
my-
volcano.
On the island, rockets
Film it,
and
Bond.
lasers,
I
and
expect you to die.
friggin' lasers on my sharks.
Definitely not Saturday night.
And Carl Whitman says, take the pontoon boat turned into a party studio, float the studio down south to pick these guys up. Well, believe it or not, Carl, if you're next to one of the rivers, you can actually get within half a mile of my house. And I can walk to a dock.
Yes. I'd have to drive to one, but
Hey, Joe, seriously, I've got a friend that rents a party barge.
Yeah.
And sometime this summer, if
the
If we
world
get
comes
the
back to
clear.
normal. Yeah.
You can rent some really.
we need to take the show on the road, and I could set up a 3-camera shoot, and we could do the show on the road.
You can rent
Or
some really
on the
big
water.
ones up here.
Hey, I got an even better idea. If Starlink comes out, we can broadcast it.
skunks being attacked by munchkins.
You got a nephew you never told us about?
That's a Steph nephew.
And Will and
Stephen.
Skylar
Yeah.
for starting a brand new pirate radio station.
That's
My,
where you need your own satellite.
My,
Technically, this is
To
a
have
pirate
the
radio.
pirate radio station in orbit.
this
Hey,
is
there's an
so two things. One, that like I said, that's my stepmom's son is in town, and that's his kid. Two, and this is not technically, and anything you do on the internet is not technically a pirate radio station because it's only accessible if somebody has the direct link to whatever it is. There's no easy, it's easy to access, but you have to know where it is. You have to be seeking it. You can't just accidentally stumble across it. Like, for example, with actual FM radio, you're going through the dial and, oh, hey, what is this? Which is what I think Willow wants to do.
Hey,
And I'm all for it.
do you remember the James Bond movie where they had the rocket that was capturing the other rockets that flew up out of the volcano with the secret cover? Okay.
Oh, I can't remember the name of that one.
Was it Thunder? No,
Moonraker, was it?
no. Before that, it was it was the one where Connery was a ninja.
What?
Connery was a ninja.
And they killed his wife.
No,
That's
no,
a
that was
book.
later.
No, that wasn't Connery. That was
it took place in Japan.
Well, that narrows it down a lot. Moonraker,
No, not long before Moonraker. Moonraker was Roger Moore.
Thunderball, maybe. No, that was nearly underwater.
I kept wanting to say Thunderball, but for some reason, there's a couple of them I get mixed up now in old age. But I wonder if Elon Musk could build me that rocket.
You give him $1 billion, he'll do whatever you want. I want one of those damn trucks.
No, Dr. No didn't have spaceships in it. Well, it had rockets, but he was shooting them down with a radio tumbler or something like that.
And Carl Witzman said Dr. No. Oh.
Well, you got the no right.
Doctor, yes.
And Mike McGowan says, isn't Thunderball a disease?
It's a cheap liquor.
Titus. John got it.
I'm surprised Heather didn't. Heather's not paying attention.
No, she's not.
No, I've got school stuff going on.
This was cool stuff going on.
Oh, by the way, before I forget again, thank all of you except John, you schmuck, for the birthday greetings. Where were you, pal? Huh?
Sleeping. I wasn't feeling well.
Well, neither was I.
Well,
hey,
John, poor excuse is better than none, okay?
No, really appreciated it, guys. That meant a lot to me. I went back and watched it a couple of times after that. And I can barely stand to watch you guys once usually. So,
well, actually,
I did manage to keep it under 15 minutes.
Yeah, and for what we're talking about is we did a surprise birthday video for Lewis.
You're not airing that.
And the premise of it is, we told I sent it to Lewis and said, I've created an intro for my show. I said, but it's 3 minutes long. I need to cut it down. Will you look at it and just tell me what I need to cut out? And this is what he started watching. And then he had to put up with another 3 minutes of us telling him what a great guy he was and happy birthday.
So far, 61's been a challenge, but I'm hopeful.
Well, like I said, I hope 61 was a lot better than 60.
Yeah. 60's pretty much in the bag, you know. I did tell my wife though tonight that I once again want to go to DC. She and I, you know, we're politically savvy, and one of the very first trips we ever took together as a couple was to DC, and we've been there a couple of times since. And the last 4 years, I just did not feel like I wanted to be in DC, but we're going to go back, I believe, this year, and this time we're going to do something. You know, we normally do the mall, or we normally do the monuments and stuff like that. This time we're going to go to Arlington for one, and we're going to go see Lee's house. My wife did not know that Arlington Cemetery used to be Robert E. Lee's property, his personal property.
Yes,
and he gave it up to be a memorial cemetery for the war dead that he was responsible for. I mean, that's, you know, I know a lot of people don't like General Lee because he's the rebel general. God, but if they just know about the guy, he the leader of West Point. He trained just about every officer he ever had to fight against in the Civil War.
Who was the Secretary of War back then?
Not
The fat guy. Was it Stanton? No, Stanton.
I know it starts with an S. I almost said Seward, but that was Interior for Alaska.
Offered Robert E. Lee command of the Union forces going into the Civil War.
Yeah,
And he said,
he was offered command of the Union Army, and he says, "I'm a Virginian."
I won't fight Virginia. It's just,
Carl says it was Stanton. Carly says it was Stanton.
Stanton? That sounds about right.
I'm a wealth of military trivia. I just doesn't click sometimes.
Yeah, but that's one of the. And I haven't been to Arlington since '65. I mean, JFK was, the dirt was still fresh around his grave. So,
and wasn't by '65 they actually finished his? Wasn't it '64 or '65 that they finished his
the Eternal
permanent?
Flame?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm dead serious. The Eternal Flame, all that was still fresh dirt when I was there. That's how long ago,
Yeah, it's time to make another visit.
Smithsonian,
Absolutely.
Naval Observatory.
Yeah.
Space Museum.
Well, I go to the Air and Space Museum every time because I'm a space geek. But yeah, I want to go again just to see what changes they've made.
Did they get one of the shuttles?
Yes.
Yes, but it's not on the mall. It's on an off-site museum.
They got Discovery.
Most of the Smithsonian is actually along the mall. The Natural History Museum, the American History Museum, African American Museum, all those are positioned along the mall between the Capitol and Washington Monument. But some of the Smithsonian museums that have the larger displays have to be off-site. So,
Yeah, but Smithsonian's got Discovery.
when I was in high school and we visited DC, I went up to one of the information desks and I said, "So how long would it take to see everything in the Smithsonian?" And the girl looked at me. She says, "Honey, I've worked here for 6 years. I haven't scratched the surface."
Wow.
I mean, it is the most amazing museum complex in the world.
The one thing that I'd have to see,
but as far as
one thing I'd have to see,
nothing beats the Smithsonian.
the USS Enterprise model from the original Star Trek series.
Yeah,
Oh, is that in the Air and Space Museum?
It's
now?
at one of the Smithsonian's.
Okay.
It's been there for quite a while. Yeah.
Completely restored.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
recently restored it.
And
The other thing I've always wanted to say, I don't know if they'll let you visit it or not, is the Organization of American States. There's a building right there on the eclipse. And the reason I want to visit it, in the movie, the original black and white, The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Oh, yeah, that's where.
That's where he landed in the eclipse. And
Yep.
that building was in the background the whole time. And back then, they didn't have any trees or anything in that area. So
Yeah.
you could say it just stood out like this huge Parthenon type thing. I
Yeah.
was like, what building is that? And it drove me nuts for years until finally I Googled it and figured out it's the building for the Organization of American States.
And
And
that's one of the beautiful things about DC is if you know DC, it's one city you cannot get lost in because you can triangulate your position from anywhere. Just about. I mean, once you get into Georgetown, you can get lost. But like if you're on the mall, if you see Washington Monument there and the Capitol's behind you, then you know, well, the White House is over here and Jefferson Memorial's over here, and you know that the Lincoln Memorial's just past the Washington Monument, and you know everything is visible from everything else because nothing's taller than the monuments.
John,
Hey, John.
Stutz has jumped in
you
here.
get a car, and Mike gets a car, and Carl gets a car.
I get a boat.
Now,
I don't want a car. Look, if you're gonna win the lottery, just help me fund my first film, and we're good. We'll call
Actually, I thought about starting it. I was going to see about getting you and Lewis and Joe together, Scott, and starting a small studio here in Chattanooga, just for doing web shows.
Well, there was a conversation that was had on lunchtime at the Doghouse today about doing fiction on the Rising Tide broadcast network. So not just doing live shows like this, but doing fictional shows as well. And, hey, great idea. Awesome. I would be down for something like that. My problem is that, and it's literally just my own personal problem. It has nothing to do with anything else. And Brian, if you're watching this, again, it's nothing against you, right? The Rising Tide network and all of the people involved with the Rising Tide, they like superheroes and Doctor Who and Star Wars and science fiction and fantasy and elves and dwarves and my brand of fiction is more like fire and murder. I like a lot of compound words like flamethrower, nail gun, chainsaw. You know what I mean? Like those
Ray.
really aren't the kind of things that a lot of the people in Rising Tide are fans of. I don't really think that anybody is part of the Rising Tide network is going to want to see my 12-part series on a slasher killer going through the throes of having to deal with being a slasher killer. There was a script I was working on at one point. Yeah, Carly, exactly. Look, Carly wants a flamethrower. See, now Carly, it's very easy. You get a Bic lighter and some hairspray. You're golden.
Strange enough, a flamethrower is not considered a firearm. And you think that would be the first one on the list, strangely enough.
I know,
right? Flamethrowers are not illegal for anybody to own. You can have one anywhere at any time.
You could buy one for your 8-year-old kid for Christmas, and it's perfectly legal.
Carly, it was that stuff that people used to use a lot back in the 80s.
Aquanet. And it's still made today.
And it's the most flammable of all the hairsprays.
And it's really good if you're into
that is your best propellant.
And if you want to get really clever about it, though, latex spray paint is also flammable and it's sticky, so it's kind of like napalm in a can.
Oh, yeah. Here's another one. Hey, you know that adhesive, the 3M spray adhesive?
Oh, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I had a bunch of that 3M spray adhesive that I acquired.
You can get some range off that stuff.
When I worked for a company, and obviously I don't work there anymore. God, when did I start working there?
I wonder if silly
18, so that was.
I wonder if silly string is flammable.
Very.
No, it isn't.
The propellant in silly string is flammable. Silly string itself is not flammable.
And here we go. Let's go ahead and get this right across the bottom.
That's
I was about to say we need a PG-13 or a MA.
Into the Web MA. I have a Web MA logo if you need it.
In the corner.
The other thing I was going to say though, in all seriousness is that there's two versions of the Anarchist Cookbook, right? There's two versions of it. There's the original version, which is extremely hard to find. Then there's the revised, reprinted version where the author got in trouble, so he had to change some of the recipes in the book. Now produce an inert something or another, whatever it is. I think the specific two that are in there is the recipe for napalm doesn't work, and I think it's the recipe for hash brownies doesn't work. I think those are the two of the ones that got changed in the book, but there was a bunch of things in the book that got changed. So
Guys, I'll be right back.
And,
So you have
he
to
wrote
make
that-
sure if you get a copy of the Anarchist Cookbook, is you make sure it's an original copy, or else it's not going to work.
Well, that and most of the formulas he had were back in the 70s. I think came out in 74, if I remember correctly. But the problem is, most of the companies that make that stuff have changed their formulas. So all those formulas he had in the book are pretty much like Drano is not the same Drano anymore. So, Skunk has a copy.
I talked about this. The cover's missing, but this is the Return to Zork walkthrough that I had, and I remember mentioning previously that it has in here a list of all of the items that you can get in the game and what you're supposed to do with them, right? And it says here, this is hilarious. It's talking about the soap item, right? It says the soap can be used in either the kitchen or the bathroom sink at Snoots or in the sink of your room you're in to wash, wave skiff, and reveal a disc piece. What else can you do with soap other than wash things? Well, for one thing, you can make a crude form of napalm by using a combination of gasoline and soap flakes. You stick it in a bottle along with a wick, and it's a Molotov cocktail. But because Return to Zork generally frowns upon violence as a way of adventuring, this information is only of academic interest. Anyway, there's no gasoline available in the game.
I wish the NSA guys would quit talking over us.
You know, if you know what to look for, you can actually order everything online to make napalm, except gasoline.
Luckily for us, you just have to go to the corner.
I've got 7 gallons in my backyard. We had to soften the gas out of the Focus.
Look, all I have to say about that is this, right? Please don't make napalm. If you are going to make napalm, please make napalm for recreational use, and don't try to blow up AT&T in Nashville again.
Oh, well.
Does anybody still have a 3 1/4 floppy drive?
Yeah.
No, not working.
Okay. Then my Anarchist Cookbook would be useless to all of you.
Did you say 3 1/4 floppy?
Is it 3 1/2?
3.5.
3.5.
I get them mixed up because
5
it's
1/4.
3 1/2, 5 1/4, 8 1/2.
I do have an 8-inch floppy though.
There's
No,
one of my mom
Damn it, I didn't have the brand tab open. Say it again.
I've got an 8-inch floppy disk.
Damn it. Okay, you ruined it. Never mind.
I've got a computer at my mom's house in the garage that plays them.
I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing, Heather. You said that, and I'm thinking, obviously, I don't have one on my current computer.
Because I have a original copy of the cookbook on a 3 1/2. Along with all of the Rainbow books.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I have an old IBM ThinkPad that still has floppy drive on it, but I don't know if floppy drive books. Also, Heather, did you say the Rainbow books?
Yeah.
So you like the different books on telecommunication?
Yep.
Okay, so like
those exact same Rainbow books they talk about in that movie.
In Hackers, so the big red book that won't fit on a shelf.
I've got them all on a floppy drive.
Dragon book, pink shirt book.
Or on floppy disks out in my garage.
Put that thing in that place where we hid them that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
I've always wanted to.
the Hackers Manifesto on my computer.
And we're not going to post any more comments for a while.
I had that.
Yeah, no.
I had that in.
I gave up on
You
the
used to be able
comments
to
5
have
minutes
floppy
ago.
drives at Walmart. I don't know.
Well,
if
I
you
had.
still do.
I think you still get. I think you can get. I know you can get a USB one. A USB one at Best Buy.
That's what
still.
this is. That's what this is. Yeah.
But
I had an archive of stuff on 3.5 drive, and I've still got 5.25 drive, 5.25 inch floppies up there. Stuff from one of my oldest computers. And I had to reclaim stuff after a hard drive crash.
Hey,
Well,
Dan,
I learned-
you're cutting in and out.
Your
I'm
audio.
not surprised, but I've got everything geared down as low as it'll go. I mean, we're talking granny gear on the video and audio here.
You've got to shorten your cord or something.
Yeah, you keep cutting out.
Well,
I just looked this
I
up.
learned something about laptops earlier today.
Oh,
Yeah. Don't lay a book on the keyboard when you're trying to boot it up.
So I was. I wanted.
no,
to,
don't
to-
do that, Joe. Don't do that, Joe.
I wanted to look this up because I was curious. The big red book that won't fit on a shelf was something I've always wanted to have because I think it's a hilarious thing. I always wanted to have that as an actual physical copy of the book. And I looked this up, and here's the thing. The Writers of Hackers lifted a lot of their jargon from jargon files, and it's a print version of the New Hackers Dictionary. It probably corresponds roughly to what the writers were reading. The corresponding entries to the books mentioned in the movie. You can note the similarities in the movie dialogue, but please note that the jargon file is public domain. These excerpts are legal. You'll also notice that some of these would not have actually been much interest to hackers looking to break into systems. And then it says that the Rainbow books, only 2 of them are mentioned in the film, right? There's only 2 of them that are actually mentioned in the film. The orange and red books are the only ones that are actually part of the Rainbow series. There's the first book that he pulls out is the green book, but the book that he pulls out in the film isn't the actual green book. Only the orange and red books are. The book that he pulls out in the film is something else, but he does say the actual phrase in international standard, the international standard for Unix environments. The orange book is the Trusted Computer System Evaluation Criteria from the DoD standard. Pink Shirt book and the Devil book are actual books. The Devil book being a nickname for a daemon book, which is all about the BSOD Unix environment. Then the Dragon book, that's another book that's separate. The red book is the one I was talking about, and it is the informal name for the 3 standard references on PostScript language reference manual, or the informal name for the 3 standard references on Smalltalk 80 interactive programming environment. Any of the 1984 standards issued by the CCITT 8th Plenary Assembly, and then 4 is the new version of the Green Book, which was again, as I said previously, the Green Book was the Unix environments, right? And it says here is that it was printed on A4 paper, known in the USA as the ugly red book that won't fit on the shelf. And in Europe is the ugly red book that is a sensible size. The one that they say is in the movie, because they say the ugly red book that won't fit on a shelf, right, is not the book they show in the film. The book they show in the film, or they show the ugly red book that won't fit on a shelf in the film, but they call it the NSA Trusted Network Interpretation book, which is a totally different book. So they can find some information in the film, which I just learned this, by the way. This is not from memory. I just read this online on the internet just now. So they conflate some information in the film to make some stuff up, but that's pretty neat. I do want to get the ugly red book that won't fit on a shelf, though. I want that so bad.
I had one of them printed out on dot matrix print paper.
There was one a long time ago. I can still remember that there was a book, a quote unquote book that was distributed as shareware back in the day. There's this great story about it. This dude did a DEF CON talk about it and everything. The book was called, if I remember correctly, The Federal Zone. And it was one of those things with like the people that are sovereign citizens sort of thing. Not to spoil the book for anybody, trust me, it's a really boring read, according to the guy who was doing this DEF CON talk. But the premise of the book is that according to a certain reading of a certain law, which, by the way, the only way that this law can be read this way is if you read it from a car as you were passing by at 90 miles an hour. We exist, according to this weird version of the law, to where the only way that federal laws apply are in federal spaces such as Washington, D.C., and certain things that don't apply include taxes, so you don't have to pay taxes, says the guy who went to prison for not paying his taxes. Right? And so the guy, he originally released the book as shareware, which is basically, hey, if you find any use in this whatsoever, please send me $25. And since books are objectively useless, nobody sent him any money. So then he got mad, tried to pull it off the internet. And as we all know, you can't pull things off of the internet. They will not. They always.
Scott, that is a wonderful segue to a question I have. And it's rather pressing because it took me a couple minutes to hop on. Are you like running a checkbox of things to get like folks in trouble? Because like, I mean, seriously, I'm sitting here like, okay, guys, you're gonna get yours. I love you guys. I don't want to see you get in trouble, but like, you could get zapped by YouTube. You could get zapped by Facebook. You could get zapped by a lot of things. For a certain subject matter, right or wrong, I'm not. I am saying it's a tactical assessment. So I leave. It's like, oh god, I got to get back on. I'm gonna finish my sandwich. I'm gonna get on and try to save the show before like it gets detonated. And I'm like, wow,
the DEF CON talk that I'm talking about, right? Which is making fun of this goober that wrote this book, right? Is on YouTube. Like it's on YouTube. It's not DEF CON. You can go and watch it.
I'm saying if you look at from an algorithm set, right, of keywords to look for. Think about this conversation in the last 15 minutes. I'm just saying.
We have the thing down at the bottom. We have the thing down at the bottom. We have the disclaimer down at the bottom. Plus, I did say earlier, like, please don't make napalm.
And we did talk about a fictional show.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Careful. Caution, boys. Caution. And ladies.
Just to point this out, the when I was talking about the thing from hackers, the NSA trusted networks, you got to remember, this is a book from like, how long ago? They don't even make that
70s and 80s.
Yeah, from the 80s. Like even in that film, it wasn't.
A lot of this.
I think you're overreacting, Nick. It's not a big deal. Trust me.
It's like
we've talked about pot on this show before, and that's not legal in either of the two states that three states that we're currently in. I don't know if it's legal in your state. Actually.
Okay. I get your point. I run an organization that teaches people to sword fight, now with plastic swords. Then I was experimenting with plastic swords. Okay. I had a multi-county task force established to try to determine if we were some kind of cell. I'm stone cold serious. So it can happen real fast for real stupid reasons. So I'm going to advise caution out of real life experience.
Yay, Carly.
And congratulations, Carly.
Hey,
now, I also want to talk about something. Before we got into coverage, Skunk, you said something. Now, you said the Rising Tide guys are into superheroes, and then Facials, and you kind of went down a whole checklist. A lot of them like 80s horror. A lot of them like the slasher flicks and stuff of the 80s. So it's not as niche as you might think. Now, if it is scheduled format wise, Red Bandit, plan it to run, premiere late at night, and just you put a warning system. Because if you really want to make horror movies, make a horror movie, man. I think the Tide would be all over helping you do something like that. I'm serious. I mean, there are people who write extreme erotica. There's people who write extreme violence. Extreme horror. I mean, and
I'm just saying
I am both a product of 80s horror movies and 70s to 80s anime ultraviolence. So,
I'm saying Rising Tide as a brand. Rising Tide as a brand. Like if you look at the people who are part of the Rising Tide network that Brian started, we look at people like Ted and Joe and I can't remember who else is Amy Hale, and I think Carl is also involved with it now.
Well,
they're not into the same kind of. They're not into the horror movie stuff. Like they're not.
Now, Skunk, I have to beg to differ here because this is Carl's last post.
Yeah, he wrote Mad Gas or Mad Tune.
That's not.
Which is actually a historical mystery.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
are you calling me a pervert?
Are
you calling me a pervert? Are you saying that just because I'm a furry and I'm a skunk that I'm a pervert? Now I'm not happy.
Oh, coming
from
Carl.
Hold on. I need to put on my grumpy pants.
Actually, the opposite, Skunk. That what the views you seem are so extreme in the circles you're traveling in among creatives usually aren't as extreme as they seem. I mean, I've got horror stories that got me, psychologically investigated during my schooling. So, I wouldn't be too quick to discredit without discussing first. You know what I mean? Don't shoot yourself in the foot. It just, it just doesn't seem
There
like
goes
it's
that damn submarine again.
What the hell is that? Again, there it goes.
What is that?
It's
Joe Dog
Dan.
messing with his microphone.
Oh, I thought it was Dan's earpiece rubbing up against something.
No, it's Joe Dog messing with his microphone, but
No, it's a Scotsman pretending to be a Russian in late fall.
I discovered something recently, by the way, not to bring up politics, but I was just thinking about this. There's an artist on Twitter who goes by Happy Roadkill, and he did he does political comics. This guy's he's very anti both parties, so they both get made fun of, and it's pretty funny. But he did this one that made me laugh so hard. I had tears rolling down my face. I was laughing so hard where it was because it's the political candidate, not the candidates. It's the political parties being represented by their mascots. So there's an elephant for the Republicans. There's a donkey for the Democrats, and of course the rest of the political parties, they get their own mascots too. So the elephant has a porcupine representing the libertarians in a cage, and he's like, "Ha! There you go. Now you won't siphon votes from us anymore." And then in the background is a tiger representing the Patriot Party that just started. Trump says he's going to start, right? And he's in the background going ham, and he's like, "What the hell is that?" And I was like, the reason I was laughing at it so hard is because the porcupine in the cage is just sitting there like with the grumpiest look on his face. And he's just wearing a Gadsden flag shirt that just says "Don't." It's too funny. You know what? I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna bring up a picture of it. It's so funny.
Dan's got to exit stage potty.
Well, that's
Actually, no. I just fixed a little ornamental bird for Lindsay. I've got to take it back to her to show her that I actually did something on the honeydew list.
Oh, there's the ping. I love how loud. Sorry, guys.
I just realized I can't show it. I can't show it on here. I'll have to wait until the after show to show this.
That's probably a better idea for a lot of things discussed.
Well,
later.
I was gonna say I just looked at it and it has like 2 swear words on it, and I don't want to show that on.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably better.
But yeah, definitely tune into the actor show to see this, because you got to see this little porcupine sitting in a cage, just mad. It's so adorable. This guy draws the best political cartoons I've ever seen.
Well,
You could PM it to
things are really
everybody.
weird right now. What? What?
Because I think Lewis isn't sticking around for the after show, so I think he wants to see it. So he said to PM it to everybody, which is not a bad idea. I'll send it on the Stupid O'Clock link. Share.
Drop it on Uncle Carl's group. That would be best.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's
go.
a better idea.
Better yet.
Yeah,
You know what?
all right,
I hate to
awesome.
say it, but if you want to ask it about what's offensive and acceptable to the Rising Tide guys, seriously, you might be able to just like throw a ping up there. Like I'm thinking about doing something, because I think they'll actually find it funny that you're concerned about the audience.
Hey, Lewis.
Yeah.
Lewis, I got a question for you. You've been to the inaugurations up in D.C. before, right?
Yeah, one. Clinton's first.
Okay. Did they have a big National Guard presence up there during that? I mean,
Well, no.
really?
It's up there. It's up there on
Of
Uncle
course,
Carl's
they
page, by the
didn't
way.
have a breach of the Capitol building 2 weeks before either. So,
No. See, the thing is, I distinctly remember the National Guard being called out to do, I guess, for lack of a better, traffic control
yeah,
in and around.
I remember being the National Guard.
well, that's typical. But you asked if there was a big presence. No.
Is that? I always thought it was the DC police.
The police do some of
It's
it.
usually Metro Police,
The
and
National
they're
Guard, the Capitol
these
Police.
days they are supplemented by DHS, Department of Homeland Security. But they brought the National Guard in because, well, there was an insurrection.
Heather, are you on Uncle
Well,
Carl's?
yeah.
group?
Yes.
Plus,
Okay, and
I
Lewis, you're in
wonder
there as
how
well.
many,
Yes, he is.
Okay, good.
How
Because
many
I just
people
posted it
knew-
there.
Biden was going to walk, because that wasn't normal. So the logistics of him being able to get out and walk that last portion.
Yeah.
I mean, one, keeping that a secret, because that's not a normal inaugurational process. And for a president to hop out of the armored vehicle and walk, engaging with members of the public, I mean, it's the press, but still.
No, that's
I
not.
think that was a
No,
big
they,
sign.
No, that happens every single time.
Does it? See, that's what I'm asking
Yeah.
about. Because
wasn't Reagan the first one to start it, or Reagan or Jimmy
No.
was the first one to?
Jimmy Carter did it.
Yeah,
well,
Jimmy.
see, I'm glad to see it, because I honestly did not remember seeing that for Trump's inauguration.
Yeah.
So I was trying to
Nixon.
remember.
I don't think Nixon did. I can't swear to it. I don't think he did. But everybody since Carter has.
Yeah,
I don't remember if President Trump did it.
yeah, he did.
And that
He
wasn't a shot. I'm staying apolitical because I'm
Now-
on the show. with-
Yeah, no,
Now,
I am
but
too.
I was-
Did any of y'all
FDR.
see Al Roker's? When?
Oh
when-
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
You
Al
know,
Roker
FDR
with
used to do it
Obama.
from his car.
yeah. Well,
That-
with Biden this time, Biden.
Oh no,
has,
I didn't see
Biden,
that.
Biden has gone over to Al Roker every time. And anytime Biden's out and Al's around, they run, and do the fist bump. This time, Biden says, "Hey, Al, I can't be doing this anymore. I'm going to get in trouble."
Oh yeah, I didn't hear that. I don't know. It was cool, and I was trying to figure out, if it did. It still takes. That takes it's a tactical decision. You know what I mean? So I kind of juxtaposition.
Normally, they will walk a longer period,
Yeah,
but they were directly in front of the White House when he got out, and that was probably the second most secure area of DC that day. So, yeah, the inauguration that I covered, for example, was Clinton's first. So I was standing on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial when Maya Angelou read her poem. I was on the parade grounds in front of the White House for the parade, and Clinton and Al Gore walked right past us, you know. And later that night, I was standing under an Apollo command module at the Air and Space Museum while
Smile on
President
other faces.
Clinton, while President Clinton and the First Lady danced to Paul Simon, and Paul Simon, because of Al Gore, sang "You Can Call Me Al." It was an incredible experience,
I do.
and I was a Republican at the time.
My favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite part of that story, by the way.
Moderacy used to be a thing.
My favorite part of that story, by the way, is the fact that Clinton and Gore just walked right past you, not realizing that you're a major celebrity.
I know, but you know, they called later. They called later, apologized for the apparent snub. Said,
See, I'm
please,
glad.
can we get you a special spot at the ball tonight?
Well, wait a second. Wait, no, Lewis, we might know the solution
I
to
knew
this.
somebody was going to
okay?
call me on that. What?
No, see, we're not sure when you were actually considered nobility, as you and I are lords.
November. November
Well,
of
see,
last year.
but they may have been reflexively deferring to the fact that a president isn't supposed to postulate themselves before, nobility. So it may have been a matter of understood prerequisites. They can't. It would possibly be an
You have a
international
point.
incident.
You have a
You
point.
just had. It's about keeping perspective of such things. You have to be gracious to those lesser.
As I understand,
like,
they didn't realize the faux pas until Dolly Parton called them and told them.
You're breaking up, Dan. We can't hear a thing you're saying.
Andrew, you gotta fix your microphone, man. This is getting ridiculous.
I cannot hear you.
Can we set
said
up a
they didn't
GoFundMe
realize
or
the faux
something
pas
for a damn microphone?
Until Parton called them and told them they should be ignoring Lewis that way.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
well,
Got
the empress of all, our one true ruler, Dolly Parton, who I've been a faithful follower for as long as I can remember. Sometime around age 3 or 4, when I was convincing my parents she'd be a great babysitter.
Well, I'm going to
You'd
tell
be a
you.
better nursemaid.
I think
It's a lot available. That's on its true.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
I had Mr. Rogers and Elvira and Dolly Parton and Betty Hill, all kind of upbringing. Sorry, Joe, you're saying?
Now,
Boy, you were messed
I
up.
just realized that
Talk about mixed message.
the last guy that was in the big chair never picked on that woman.
No.
That's sacrilege
Could you imagine
in any political party.
backlash that he would have got had he said anything bad about Dolly?
Especially from his base.
Yeah.
No, seriously, think about it. It was enough he did it. He wasn't willing to take that gesture. Again, while trying to stay apolitical as much as I can. For him not to engage and claim to be better than someone took restraint. And I love the hat. I was going to compliment his hat and he disappeared.
We had Super Mario. Super Mario blessed us with his presence. He came all the way here, joined the internet,
Of course he did, because
to come in here to talk to us about awesome things going on in the Mushroom Kingdom, and we ignored him.
Trump's impeach again! He won't leave Peach alone!
I'm buying the Mario Edition Switch that's coming out on February 12th.
I gotta share this.
No, you don't.
This is like the funniest
We're gonna
thing
let
I've
you
seen all
anyway.
day. Okay.
The Hobbit.
Now look closer.
Where's Bernie? There's Bernie.
I've been watching those all day.
Oh man.
I shared a couple of them with Joe
Wait,
earlier.
bring it back up for a second. Okay. That is from Ralph Bakshi's fan page.
Yes, that's what I watched when I was a kid. That's still the first one that comes to mind.
Did
The favorite thing that I saw on that topic was a tweet, and I wish I could remember who tweeted it, but they showed the picture of him with the envelope, the manila envelope, and walking down the stairs. And they said, Bernie like the inaugural is on his agenda, but it ain't his whole day.
yeah, that one's been going around.
My wife and I have been trying to figure out what the hell was in the manila envelope that was so important that he brought it to the inaugural.
Recipe for cornbread.
That's probably his greatest aspiration and dream in life.
Okay. Not to continue to harp on the whole entire thing with Dolly Parton. I'll
harp on Dolly Parton any day of the week. She's worth harping.
But
guitaring,
I do want to point out.
Congo.
I do want to point out that I think this is important to say. Dolly Parton isn't just an American hero. You have to understand that. She is a worldwide hero. She showed up at the Glastonbury Festival in Scotland, right?
Yeah.
And that had a crowd larger than anybody at that festival there. And she went out of her way to learn how to play yakety sax just for that crowd because she knew that
and Benny Hill, because that's how a child upbringing should be.
I think it was the same trip. She just went to a pub and there was a guy playing guitar and he just happened to know a couple of her songs and talked her into singing along with him. And this guy was like, I'm surprised he could manage to play because he was so starstruck, constantly staring at her. I like, oh man, that's so cool.
Her.
I have a question that's bothered me for some time. What did Jolene bring to the table?
Really?
Seriously? What? Did I just break skunk? Oh, you lost your trousers there on internet TV, skunk.
And I was nowhere near the button. Sorry, guys. I was taking a drink.
That's a normal with him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, you guys just don't normally see it because it gets turned off.
Ezra left my door open when he came in here earlier.
Oh, okay, because I thought the thought of Jolene the Eldritch Terror was enough to run you off screen for a second there, and I was going to apologize because that is not my intent. Engage and amuse, perhaps, but nothing more serious than my Nerf blaster is brought up to bear in this level of conversation.
To quote Chris Tucker, what in the hell did you just say?
What?
Okay.
No, seriously, Nick, I was kidding.
Okay, well, it's because I got your Nerf blaster, and now I'm in the mood to shoot things. But
the Swordmaster has a Nerf blaster.
Oh, I engage in them. I'm a multitask individual. I love things, things that go boom and things that go stab and all that. Plus, it amused me, and life's too short not to. I recently lost a dear friend. And I'm not trying to pull things down, so bear with me. Somebody I knew for nearly 20 years, dear friend, his name's Ben Starkey. And he talked about all the things he was going to do. He was getting things set up, but he had to help all these other people before he could do his stuff. So I'm kind of on this kick right now of, if it's something you want and it's within reach, you just get it because you don't know about tomorrow. So I'm walking around. I'm like, you know what? I want to buy the stupid Nerf blaster. So we're grocery shopping, and I throw it in the cart. And I've been shooting stuff in the house, having a grand old time, because my buddy can't. So I'm kind of on this push where it's like I know too many people have been telling me, "Oh, I'll write this, I'll publish this, I'll make this," but not right now. And I think that might be why Skunk saying I'd like to do this, but I don't know if I can because of the audience just kind of set me spinning. Because it's like, no, life's too short. I mean, you look at 2020, you look at the numbers people don't want to talk about. you got to go out and do it. You got to go out and live. You got to go out and reach. Because if you don't, it's gonna get bad. So or you'll have regrets, and I despise regrets. I'd rather fail trying than hide out and not. Yeah, Carl, I'm sure you do. I'm sorry, Brother Love started to get near his pulpit here, talking about the importance of chasing your dreams, and I'll get fired up. So I don't want to steamroll the show, but yeah, we gotta just keep doing our thing.
Well, believe me, last week I was double checking my will.
Yeah,
making sure my wife had all my account numbers and passwords.
Yeah.
Believe me. I've lost five friends to COVID. One of them.
Well, I have you here, Lewis. Can I ask a question? You're telling a story, and as a newsman, as an individual who's been in key points of history, have you written anything like a biography up or any of the stories? Because that's
actually, I started writing it right after my divorce, and the title is "May I Have My Mulligan, Please?"
Because I hound like my dad a lot because he's a lot of Vietnam stories. And a lot of what happened has been blurred for political reasons, So firsthand accounts are so important. So I'm keep working on that. Get that published.
Oh, I am. I am.
This is a diverse, fascinating group of people. I wouldn't bother you if I wasn't interested. You know what I'm saying? And you can ask Dan.
My goal was at the age of almost 50, I said my page, my autobiography right now is 15 chapters. My goal is to make it 30 chapters.
Nice.
So
I respect that.
If I may, Heather.
Yes.
Youngling with Hershey's.
So,
actually excellent.
I'm not surprised. See, there's a market right now.
I'll have to try it when I come back on carbs.
Charlie, it is unique because very early in the very first chapter, I said that I honestly didn't think I'd live this long because I grew up in the Cold War. And we really thought that we would be nuked when I was in elementary school. So I had absolutely no idea I would live this long. And, the old joke is if I'd known I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself. But yeah. I mean,
oh, my God. Super Mario's showing up. I want to bring this up real quick.
Lewis, I'm in the same boat with you. I mean, I remember the movie The Day After.
Yeah.
I think it was ABC.
Yeah. With the missiles coming in, and
I'm going to tell you that movie scared the hell out of me.
Oh, hey, get this, all right? I'm in the Navy, okay? So we get movies on ship all the time.
Yeah.
One of the very first movies I see in the Navy is Damnation Alley.
K-19 Widowmaker.
We're watching Damnation Alley on a ship in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Everybody's wearing a rad badge because we've got nukes on the ship,
Yeah.
And I'm, 19 years old.
Well, one thing that was comforting about Damnation Alley for me, Chattanooga was like 13 on the list of First Strike.
Yeah.
Chattanooga was supposed to get 2 neutron devices.
What was good to me for Damnation Alley is that even after the apocalypse, we're going to have bitchin' vehicles.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I want to point out something real quick.
Watch where you point that thing.
So you've got everybody in the for the past couple of weeks, I've been making not a bunch of people, not everybody, but a bunch of people have been making jokes the past couple of weeks that since the previous administration is leaving the White House as of yesterday, they're not in the White House anymore, that there wasn't going to be anything really all that funny in the news media regarding politics. But Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has stepped up to the plate to give us more stupid politics. This woman is a nut. As of 3:55 p.m., she filed articles of impeachment on Joe Biden today.
Yeah, for what he did as VP.
It hasn't even been 24 hours. What
Her first full day on the job. Her first full day on the job.
Didn't she say she was going
to? Doesn't
to?
have something more important to do for North Georgia.
And so here's the thing is I watched the video, or I didn't watch the video. I saw the video where she was declaring that she had done this, and it's filmed in this weird, it's like a weird maintenance tunnel or something somewhere. It's like brick and like pipes and wires, and I was like, is this recorded in that mental institution from session 9? What's going on here? It's what it looks like, something out of Silent Hill.
Dude, she's QAnon through and through. She's a Looney Tunes. I mean, certifiable.
Here's how I found out about this.
And
by the way,
if her opponent hadn't dropped out and moved out of state, she still wouldn't have won. I mean, she got what, 70% of the vote, and she was unopposed.
So I do want to point this out. The reason why I even found out about this video in the first place was that Twitter showed that one of the trending topics currently was Sandy Hook, and that got my attention. Sandy Hook
inside job.
So apparently, she's a Sandy Hook truther and a 9/11 truther as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. There's still a nutty person that likes to get on camera in the Congress, so we got something for the Daily Show to make fun of for the next.
Have you seen Ted Cruz?
Oh, Ted Cruz too.
Ted Cruz is like, the Senate has better things than this vindictive, impeachment trial, and I'm like, Ted, you are like this far from being charged with a federal crime in that very same thing. You might want to shut up and duck your head back in, turtle.
Ted Cruz said something really stupid recently, and I don't know what it was, and I'm trying to find it, but I can't remember.
Every time he opens his mouth.
Yeah,
I meant like recently, like in the past 24 hours, he said something really stupid, and I can't find it now. But it was, whatever it was hilarious. I was laughing so hard at that. Yeah. Oh man, the next few months of politics is still going to be really, really funny.
Oh yeah.
I'm probably going to take a break from Facebook, seriously, because the Trump lovers are.
My audio.
The only
It's
political
suffering
posts
from
that I saw on Facebook today
What,
were
Heather?
the only political Facebook posts that I saw today were the Bernie pictures.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen the Bernie
you are
picture.
so lucky.
I unfriended those far, far out there ones at the beginning of quarantine.
Yep.
Because being in healthcare and seeing some of the stuff, I can overlook a lot of the misinformation. But some of this, like the hydroxychloroquine.
Oh my.
That whole thing, and then if I'm in, I don't care what my doctor says. I want and I can't do this anymore.
We need more dogs dancing with their owners.
Every single.
I've got a TikTok. I'm going to post a stupid o'clock just for you.
Okay, send it on.
I'm going down through here looking at right now at my Facebook, and literally every political post I've seen except for one is a Bernie Sanders thing, and the only one that wasn't a Bernie Sanders thing was something where somebody.
And Bernie's eating it up, man. He's got a good sense of humor. He's related to Larry David. Yeah.
Well, hey, you saw the only Bernie one that I posted was the one where the guy from Supernatural had circled the chair in salt.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see that one, but
Then I commented down under. I said I would have done it if it was Trump or Joe. Hell, matter of fact, can we just circle the whole damn city in about 3 feet of salt?
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's posted.
How to solve the
That has
problem?
All right.
No,
Water
that has
dumpers with a whole lot of
completely different meaning when you say it that way.
Did you tag me?
Yep.
Sodom
All
and Gomorrah.
Turn around.
Aww.
You salty skunk.
You got your sound turned on?
I don't take any salt in my alcohol.
I'm watching it.
It's so cute. Mama wants to play with her puppies, but they're too little. And then there's that one that's just belly up. That's just like all kinds of personality.
Like, rub my belly.
Now, did you guys? Yeah. By the way, speaking of the Bernie memes, did you see where Bernie commented on why he was dressed that way at the inauguration? Did you guys see that?
No.
Freaking cold.
He remember, like Lewis said, he has a sense of humor, and he's related to Larry Drake and stuff like that. So he's got or Larry David rather. And so he's got a really good sense of humor, and he said, "I wanted people to know that the mittens that they make in Vermont are really good."
Well, yeah.
Somebody sold that
Hey, don't
pattern.
you know that woman is going to be getting order after order after order for those mittens?
Yeah,
man.
she's apparently like a
She
school
sold
teacher or
out
something.
today of her
Yeah, she's a
pattern.
second grade
Good.
teacher.
Good for her and good for Bernie. You know?
Hey, welcome back, Two Geeks. If you would, or Two Real Geeks, if you would post a link to that on our Stupid O'Clock page on Facebook, and we'll start spreading the word about it.
I just followed those guys. But yeah. See, that's the kind of stuff I like. You either hear, I was watching a video Bernie did in like 1981. And he was saying the exact same things in almost the same voice. You know, and I love him or hate him. It's so weird to see somebody that consistent. Like, I absolutely adore, no matter what anybody says, the consistency of the man. That alone makes him appealing.
What's great is that on these inaugurals, you usually have the first lady and the second lady, and today's show is like, you can have this look, and they break down what they were wearing and how much everything costs. And I think Bernie's whole outfit was under $200, and the most expensive thing was the $132 hoodie.
And somebody actually posted
like
up
14 years.
A list of everything, where to get it, and all that for cosplayers at conventions.
Oh God!
I do want to bring something up because Nick
just rows of people in chairs with
Nick made me think about this. Is Nick posted this on Facebook?
Yeah.
You guys now I know who Al is, and Nick knows who Al is, but do you guys know who that is?
I definitely do.
Well, I didn't know him by name, but I recognize the face.
You
from
know
lots
the
of
face. You know the face because he's in a lot of stuff. I think
he's in the most important film ever made, Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, you said Big Trouble.
Like that's the Citizen Kane of good movies.
I don't think that's his most famous. I don't think it's his most famous role though. I think his most famous role was in Die Hard because he's the guy who, when they're getting set up, because they're getting set up when they first take over the plaza, he's one of the guys down in the lobby, and he's setting up at his little candy spot where he's supposed to be. Yeah, he steals the candy bar.
Yeah. I like it, that was how you could tell if it was going to be a good bad movie.
Hey, that's typical. That is a typical infantry soldier right there. Doesn't matter what army they're in, Marine, U.S. Army, whatever.
Set up,
they're sitting there with the gun. They're waiting for the bad guys. They look over, see the food, and like, oh.
Yeah.
Army travels on its belly, man.
It just reached. I have to say though that while I love that role, I do think that his best role, his most famous, but his best is Big Trouble in Little China.
Wasn't he the guy that was torturing?
Well, this was the dog's fault.
Wasn't he
All
the
right,
guy
you-
that's torturing Mel Gibson in Die Hard? Or not Die Hard, Lethal Weapon?
Not Die Hard. Lethal Weapon. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's him. Yeah.
Now,
Hey,
With the
Joe, why don't you
retro
go ahead and
theme.
answer this question?
Yeah. Two real
Yeah, I said it's all
geeks that-
Dog's fault.
Yeah.
Skunk. There we go.
Yeah. This is a good question for us. How did we all get together and start this fun stream?
Joe found me and asked me.
We
Blackmail was involved.
Mhm.
no, don't
I got
bring
paid
me up full
$1.37.
screen. That's scary. Let me
Y'all got paid.
Yeah.
$1.37.
Let's see. John, Skunk, Heather, Dan, and I all go to conventions together. Down in up here, well, up in the Chattanooga area.
Frightening.
Yeah. I discovered StreamYard and opened a free account and said, hey, let's test this out, see what's does anybody want to jump on with me? And Skunk was actually the first person to jump on screen with me. And then we brought in John and then Dan, and then we brought in Lewis. And I met Lewis through
God,
dare
we
we
know each
say
other
a
forever.
message forum.
Yeah.
Is locally based message forum. And then Heather, I said Heather from the conventions. And then I met Blake through conventions up in the Nashville area. And Blake came down with John Pica doing his magic acts and convention stuff. And Blake pretty much just migrated to my crew, and he's been a good asset to the Halicon crew. And then we met Nick through Brian K. Morris's show.
Now, what's funny is that I wasn't part of the original crew. I think I was the first add-on, but I wasn't part of the original crew. The weekend of the Easter tornadoes.
Yeah.
You asked me, you said you had this little broadcast going on, and you want to know if I could come on and just give you updates on the weather. And I was following that anyway, so I just sat down at the computer and it was kind of fun. So
I would like
you
to
haven't
point out
gotten rid of me yet.
Lewis has joined the show. We have not had a tornado.
Yep.
That's a good point, damn it.
Yeah,
That's
Lewis,
because
every single time that
he
you
is
duck
one
out
of
and
the
decide to go
ability
camping, I'm going to
they
get
have
scared now.
Lewis can't do the news tonight. Oh God. Oh God.
Everyone ducking
Especially
cover.
if you're calling for storms.
What's a blast door?
Lewis,
She got us a
shoot.
blast door.
Guys, I grew up in Indiana.
Lewis.
I've sat outside for 2 of them. You know?
Yeah, it's Lewis. Lewis is on assignment. Oh God, what does he know that we don't?
Mhm.
Lewis is traveling on assignment.
I'm not getting hit in the
Wow.
face with a screen.
Down today
He's
through-
very
All of a sudden,
far
Lewis
away.
is bringing us a broadcast.
everybody in the bunker.
Like form. There's a cow.
Cow. We got cows.
Well,
There's
I mean,
Another cow.
Oh,
No,
no,
we're
that's
talking
the same
about
cow.
I gotta say
I've only
cow.
seen-
It's
Hey
been a
man, Turkey
circling
is one of my
the
favorite
pavilion.
movies.
I've only seen.
I saw it at the drive-in.
Yeah,
in
that's
Athens.
what I was going to bring
Oh,
up.
you're
though.
kidding
I
me,
was
at a
gonna bring
And
drive-in?
that
it
up.
was,
I was going to bring
it
that
was
up.
thundering behind the screen.
Oh no.
I saw it and
No, I wanted
Jurassic
to bring
Park
that
at
up.
Sorry,
the
you can
same
lie.
time.
What?
It and Jurassic
I
Park
went-
were playing
Yeah,
at the same time.
yeah, they did that up in the 49er in Valparaiso, Indiana. They did the same thing. Yeah.
You know, if I
So
win the
anyway,
lottery, I'm
2011.
going to open a drive-in theater.
Did you hear about the one that was
In
airing
2011.
Jaws in front of the big pool? So people would go to like a drive-in theater and float in floaties in the dark and watch Jaws.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Heather, up in Nashville, they've dropped the ball on it, I think, but I still love this idea. The plan is to build a dome, an air inflated dome that's got a big drive-in screen on one end, and they've got classic cars. Classic cars
it
that
was
are
the front half.
arranged. with
Front
the
half of 'em,
speakers and
yeah.
everything. And you walk in like it's going to be a regular theater, but you just find a car that you like, sit in the car,
Mhm.
and act like it's drive-in, but it's completely environmentally controlled, so it's very comfortable. You get all the best parts of a drive-in theater without the weather. And I always thought that was an amazing idea. I just wish, but COVID hit, so I think they've had to postpone the plans. But wow, I can't wait. That would be awesome.
It's still weird. Like I went to
Nice.
Opry Mills last week, and it's dead. There's nobody in the mall.
Yeah.
And you walk to that end where Dave and Buster's and the Wax Museum and the movie
Mhm.
theater are. The movie theater is closed. The Wax Museum is closed.
Wow.
Dave and Buster's is open. And the aquarium is open, the aquarium restaurant and the Rainforest restaurant. But there were so many storefronts that were closed.
Oh, speaking of clothes, that just reminded me when you said, Dave and Buster's and all that. If you're in the Chattanooga area watching this replay or whatever, Mojo Burritos,
Mojo Burrito.
needs you to place an order and come pick it up.
They have really good food if you've never had their food.
Drive through, have it delivered. I think they got some type of delivery service going, but
I know DoorDash services them, so
yeah, definitely you need to buy something from them. They're in a dire situation right now. And trust me, yeah, they're one of their things is they when they posted up to do this, they says if you're in the need for a burrito the size of a newborn baby, come to us.
They do make big burritos.
They've got really good food.
I definitely need that in my
See,
life.
now I'm hungry again, guys. I was late coming on because my wife made me dinner, and she gave me a look. And you get that look, you're gonna sit down and you're gonna eat dinner with your wife.
Hey,
You're not
Joe?
gonna argue with about
Yes.
it. Don't die.
Mojo Burrito is not on DoorDash.
They're not.
They need to be.
They're on dinner
So
delivered, I
somebody
think.
send a message to
Mo-
Mojo
Are they
Burrito.
on Uber Eats?
Moe's Southwestern is, Dos Bros is, Abuelos.
You may want to go to their
Am I
website.
muted?
No.
No.
I can hear you, Skunk.
What?
Because I was trying to talk earlier, and I just kept getting talked over, and then I just said they're on dinner delivered. They're not on DoorDash. You
Oh,
go to
dinner delivered. Okay.
Maybe your audio's cutting out, Skunk.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or
it happens all the time.
somebody's over drowning. All right, I'll be right back. It is my turn for a bio break.
Well, thanks for sharing that.
You're very welcome.
Hey, Lewis. There was a Kickstarter for something similar to the thing you were talking about in Nashville with the classic cars. It was called August Moon Drive-In.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah,
August Moon.
they ended up moving the idea of the Pigeon Forge, and then they failed the Kickstarter.
Oh.
They were going to do a $50,000 Kickstarter to get them in the door.
I don't think that's too big a project for Kickstarter.
That drive-in would be a really good idea here in the Nashville area, especially since they're going to start using the Speedway again.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Nashville Super Speedway, they're going to start using it.
A great idea along the southern coast because I'm sorry, I grew up in New Orleans. I lived in Florida for a year. It's hotter than crap, and nobody wants to go to a drive-in because you don't want to sit in the car and have your air conditioner running all the time. So wherever the temperatures are more extreme is where that idea would work better. Nashville's got pretty decent weather already, so it does. Believe
That was one
come on.
problem.
Why do you think you got so many halfbacks in Nashville?
When I was
You
living,
know what a halfback is, Heather? A halfback is a Yankee that thought they wanted to move to the South for the weather, but then realized it was too damn hot, so they go halfway back and
Halfway
stuck
back.
in Nashville. Those are halfbacks.
You sure that's not a half wit?
Same difference.
I hate the weather up here.
Yeah. Drive-in theaters in Mississippi were miserable. Let me tell you.
Oh God.
It gets
'Cause-
hot and it gets dry and the wind
Why?
is crazy.
Hot,
To me,
humid,
it's humidity.
mosquitoes,
I
and
almost
love
got thrown.
bugs. Okay.
I almost got thrown off the interstate last week in my Focus.
Shoot, I live in the windiest part of Indiana, well, the windiest of the world, and I watched semi-trucks last winter get stacked coming down
There's
the road, just picked up and sat sideways.
There's a
Folks,
video
uh,
on
That's why
Facebook
I got
from
all
a
those
couple of
wind
years
farms,
ago where a
Mhm.
tractor trailer was in the middle of a rainstorm on Murfreesboro Road and the wind blew it over on 2 cars.
Yeah, well, I've seen 3 of them get laid out. It looked like an invisible toddler was playing with toys. It sounds nuts. But I was pulling out, I'm telling my wife, I'm like, it's kind of icy. I don't think we should go out. Well, we'll go see how the highway looks, and we can turn around before we get on, 41 or whatever it is. And then, whoop, thwomp, whoop, thwomp, whoop, thwomp. And
Yeah,
like,
we're going
the
back
first
there.
one is down, and the stadies are trying to block people off as all the others are just getting stacked. Like, so yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I'm gonna tell you where I live. If the weather if it's icy where I live, if you walk out in the street and slip and fall, you're next door before you get stopped.
Oh, that yeah. See, Southern ice stuff messes with me. I mean, I'm up from northwest Indiana, where okay, you get 4 feet of snow, but you move most of it aside and you just drive. You could snow you can work with, do things in a Saturn most people couldn't do in a pickup truck, but this like that ice stuff, ice storm, we had freezing fog. Ice fell down and I got completely coated in ice in about 15 seconds. Less than that, because I was going out to the mailbox and watched this fog go through. I'm like, what is that? I slip because I'm gimpy in one leg. I'm laying there and it rolls over me and I just have this sheet of ice coating me. I'm like, what the? No, this is nuts. Yo, I don't. No.
I just wanted to ask the 2 rigs if they had their meds checked recently. They're in Atlanta.
Yeah, 2 real gigs. Yeah, they moved to Atlanta from New York because the weather's better.
No, I can understand that, and New York being New York.
But the problem is, I bet they were in for a shock that first summer.
What's that noise? Oh, those are mosquitoes.
Well, I certainly hope they like pollen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Flamethrowers
And
and the
280% humidity.
Yeah, at least 280%.
Oh my God. Now I'm almost east of Atlanta, so we're perfectly level in longitude or latitude?
Latitude.
Latitude.
Longitude's the long one. Latitude's the up and down one.
No, well, latitude
to
is
side,
like
so.
this. I
Latitude
always
is like
remember
the wrong
latitude is
level
like a
ladder.
ladder going up the earth,
Yeah.
John. Latitude
Is
goes east-west.
Latitude's like a ladder step.
Longitude goes north-south.
The
Trust
only
me,
reason it's cooler
boy, your land nav
is
is really in trouble.
because we have
really-
less concrete.
He's double checking me. He's double checking me. Trust me, latitude is east-west lines. Longitude is north-south lines.
Yes.
Louis, don't you hate when peasants get all upstarty? And,
I know, and it's the most I can do not to reach through and slap his gray head. Look at him. He's pretending my night's setting out. It only works
I
on.
figured out if we're
Come.
describing it different.
Oh, did anybody catch my meatloaf rant today?
Yes! What
Meatloaf.
was that skunk.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
my wife was swearing up a blue streak when I showed her a picture of that. That was unholy.
He's a good singer.
They're nice by the dashboard lights, baby.
We'll get into that on the
Pretty blessed my soul.
after show. Yeah.
Don't you have to run something? Play
No,
something?
we still got a few more minutes.
Don't worry, I'm on it.
And Skunk is on it. Skunk's always on it. Skunk,
The
Skunk has,
dedication of the professional
Gotta get my go-go on.
photographer.
Yeah.
In fact, I have
and I look back up here, Two Real Geeks posted up where Whitewater was playing Jaws in the wave pool one night. And then you were talking about Jaws with people in the floaties. I would have had to get a shark fin just to swim around under the water.
no choice in the matter. Just man, I think I'd have to go for. I would
As
get
long as the
scuba
EMS was
authorized.
nearby.
You glue it to a radio control submarine.
Now I have seen the remote control alligator heads. Those are great.
But somebody
so-
was playing with one of those in a pond in England.
Shoot, somebody was playing with one of those in a pond in LaPorte, Indiana. Just a little, which was great because the last summer somebody let one loose out there, so there was some viability to that prank.
No, well,
Actually,
now
there was a couple of guys at work that were complaining about an alligator in the water trap at their favorite golf course. Here.
John B. Pica says, "Hey guys, looks like you have a full house." And to quote a famous line from a Star Trek episode, "Room for one more, honey."
Nanu.
And I bet you're all really sorry that I'm feeling better.
And John
No,
says
we're
he's actually
grateful you're
listening while he
feeling
drives
better.
home,
Thank you, Dan.
finishing up an epic ghost tours downtown Nashville. Awesome, John.
That's cool. Ghost tours are awesome.
I didn't know they did those.
Insert plug nightlyspirits.com.
Okay.
Up down the road, listening to his phone, and all of a sudden, ghost goes.
Not a freaking problem. I'm gone.
And you guys know that I actually did the paranormal investigation.
Oh yeah.
I was on one time in an older house, and they had this old refrigerator sitting there. And every time I'd walk,
Perfect.
I totally agree with that.
Oh, man.
That's amazing.
oh, wait a minute.
Came out of the fridge.
That was
You
a really
are the man. You are the man.
That was
Thank
amazing.
you.
Scott.
That was good. That was good time. I think you were waiting for that. You were.
I
I was
mean,
literally just waiting for 155. That's all I was waiting for. I was going to wait at 155 no matter what.
But
Out of the refrigerator, it became almost the end of the show.
the refrigerator, I kept saying, I'm picking there's a cold spot. There's a cold spot here. We kept walking back and forth. And, so there are other guys come up and they pull the thermometers out and they're going, there's no cold spot here. And I said, yeah, trust me, there's a cold spot there. Worked it half the night. Then one guy walked up and went, Joe, you son of a bitch. The brand of the refrigerator was called Cold Spot.
Spot. Yes.
I would have opened the fridge and pointed inside. That's just me.
Which one of you buggers left the fridge open?
And we picked up a new person here, Jacob Downey. Jacob, welcome to the show. He says, "Do I buy a Crown Royal logo back there?" Where?
Yeah.
Behind
Yeah,
Skunk,
behind skunk.
Oh, okay.
where his entertainment system is.
Okay, yes, I guess you do. Good eyes.
Yeah, it's a Crown Royal logo
Now,
back
wait a
there.
minute,
There's
wait a
no
minute.
Crown Royal in that box.
Look on the screen. Who could look behind him?
I think probably when I did this. Yeah, there it is.
When did you ever do that?
When I was
Right
saying,
after-
man.
And
We're
Right
waiting
after
for you
the
to
end of the
respond.
show.
are those
Right,
little
right after
trophies back
the
there?
almost the end of the show video.
You got fuel for that oil lamp?
It doesn't have a wick, so hopefully not. That would be bad.
Oh. No, only if you knocked it over and then set fire to it. There's a website where you can buy the wicks. I forget which, but you can Google it.
Yeah,
All different types.
there's a story behind that. There's a story behind that lantern.
Hobby Lobby. Heck, Joe, I'm
Mine.
No.
Mill and Mine.
Mill and mine's gone.
Is it?
Yep.
That's a cane lantern, so it's a really good
Talking about the one over on
you
Signal
could
Mountain
knock it
Road?
over, it won't start up.
Yeah, the Mill and Mine on Signal Mountain Road's a Walmart.
12. Jake Danny. Whew. You watch it like I usually do. I watch it on my big old TV too. Unless I have to comment, then I come running in here to the tarp of anonymity to wade in and cause mayhem.
And
Walter A.
we'll,
Wood. Is Walter A. Wood still running? Lewis?
Pardon?
Walter A. Wood?
Yeah, Walter
Yes.
Wood's still there. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably find it there.
But
Just
guys,
don't ask any of the new kids. Ask the old guys.
yeah.
New kids are like, what?
You're like lanterns.
You
Is
know
it
they
that
make
time?
those in LED form
They're
now.
too busy on the block. 8 people on the panel and only 2 thumbs up.
By the way,
Well,
real quick, does anybody know a young black female actress that's available on short notice and doesn't have COVID?
Oh, no, you're
Um,
kidding.
I got an email saying, "Sorry guys, my rapid test came back positive.
No,
We're supposed to
hold
shoot Saturday."
And that's when you come out of your
Ooh, you're under a
quarantine,
deadline
right?
Yeah.
for sure now.
Yeah, that's when my quarantine's over.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Young ladies of color in, where are you?
Chattanooga. Chattanooga area.
Chattanooga area. Please. Lewis needs an actress. And it's horn.
All right, hold on, Lewis.
All right.
So it's inquiries only.
and guys, we're going to have to wrap this one up. We're going to run a little long on this. I've sent everybody the link to the after show. We'll see everybody over there.
We're out.
And for those tuning in on YouTube, if you go to my page, Joe McKeel, we'll be going live there in just a few minutes for about another 55 minutes of chat, and then we're gonna talk about what is meatloaf, because I'm still wound up on that.
Now I'm hungry again. Dang it, Joe.
Third time this
I
stream.
want meatloaf burgers.
Yeah. All right. Say good night, everybody.
Good
Good
night,
night,
everybody.
Good night,
everybody.
Everybody.
Good night, everybody. Now we got to touch the face of God.
Oh, I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up, the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.